Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session on African artificial intelligence. This is actually the first time we're releasing this masterclass. This is the third one in the series that we'll be doing, and also the last one. Before we get started, I'm just going to hand over to Mr. Hopperstad to just welcome you into the introductions. Thanks, David.
All right. Thank you, Richard. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on a nice, warm Thursday afternoon, because now it's just gone past 12 o'clock. We are really looking forward to this session. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And yeah, so Richard, I'm thinking the students, this is really the first time we're having the Masterclass 3, and this is day 1. So yes, we have set it up for you guys. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully, you've also looked at Masterclass 1 and 2, but we will share that with you guys just to see where to access the courses, because it will build onto getting into Masterclass 3. So it's quite important. So Richard, yes, I think we're looking for a good, fun session with everyone. Guys, the recording is in the YouTube link that we are sending into the chat, so you guys can always use that as well. And yeah, so let's go for it, Richard. I think it's going to be a fun session. All right, so actually I'm next, so let me continue. All right, so let me quickly share my screen for you guys. All right, thanks, Richard. All right, so there we go. Hopefully you guys can see it. So guys, very importantly is, okay, I'm not Richard, right? Richard's the other guy. I'm David Hopstad. Okay, but yeah. So guys, something that's really important to us at ADOV is the fact we want to make sure that our courses are enabled for diversification. So really what we're trying to say here is in your MS Teams meeting, you are able to click on the little dot, dot, dot. You should find it on sort of the right side of your screen, or on your phone. It'll be at the bottom side. And you can select language and speech and select the option saying live captions. So in other words, as we're speaking, you'll actually see what we're saying, but in terms of text on your screen. So that's really, really important, guys, for our students using MS Teams. And for our YouTube, so if you are watching via YouTube, the live stream that we're currently doing, you'll notice there's just a CC button that you would click, and then you would see that the text would pop up there as well. So that's really important to remember. So please do share this with other students who might be saying to you, well, I can't join because, I can't hear what they're saying. Then these are the options that you can share with them. And you'll see with all our training, we will be doing the same because, as I said, we want to be inclusive of everybody to come and enjoy us and to learn and to enjoy the experience. Okay, so let's have a look at Masterclass number 3. So hopefully in the chat, have any of you guys done the AI Masterclass 1 and 2 or 2? Please let us know in the chat. Just say yes or no. We just want to see how many of you guys have actually done the Masterclass 1 and 2 with us, because today we're starting with number 3. So please use the chat. Oh, we've got a nose there coming up, Richard. So we've got quite a few no's coming up. Okay, so the good news is, guys, the good news is you can still do those courses, okay? So it's your first class. Awesome. So don't worry, you haven't missed them. We just did them over the last 2 years. And this is year 3 of our project. So therefore, we will show you guys where you can access those courses as well. And it will make it a lot more fun and easy to follow on. So don't worry, you're still going to learn quite a lot from Masterclass 3, but you can still go do 1 and 2 as well. So really, what are we going to be looking at today? So you'll see these beautiful graphics that you're going to see on your screen. And what we're doing is we're looking at source-grounded research. So that's really important. And knowledge creation and personalized learning. So Richard, and he's been busy with this for some time, quite a few months. That's why we want you guys to complete the surveys that we send you, because that's the data that we use to build the next courses that can help you with your studies. Because that's really what we want to do, is enable you, give you all the resources, but also the skills to make sure that you can do these things and be, when you hit the job market, that you've got all the skills, okay? So things like synthesize, research, evaluate, create, and learn. So Richard's going to be taking you through this, how to use the tool, but really to make sure that you're using it effectively. And that's the key, not simply just copy and paste and hope for the best, No, we actually follow quite a sound principle of what we're going to follow. Things from ask with a purpose. Then we're going to jump into find and evaluate the resources. That's critical, really, really critical when it comes to AI. Build sound or source grounded notebooks with Gemini. So that's also very interesting. Then we're going to verify and trace your claims, synthesize, create knowledge, learn responsibility and reflect and continue growing. So it's quite a number of things. Yes, it's going to feel like a lot of information. That much I can promise you. So what I do suggest is do follow along if you are able to do. But also if you just feel, wow, this is quite a lot of information, maybe just sit back, grab your cup of coffee or tea, and actually just watch Richard go through this. Because remember, we're sharing the recording with you. And afterwards, go through that recording, slow it down at your own pace, and then follow it step by step. So that can also help you a lot. And that's basically what I've just said is how to participate. So when we do give you links, try to complete those links for us, guys, like pre-assessment, post-assessment. Those are really important in course evaluation as well. But yes, just remember, guys, don't feel frustrated or there's too much information. It might feel like, because I see a lot of you guys saying first time. Don't worry, we'll share the recording, and then this evening or when you get a chance, you work through it nicely and slowly at your own pace as well. Okay, so Masterclass 3, guys, what do you actually need? Now, I've already said to you, 1 and 2 kind of is important because you're going to build on those, but it's not a train smash because you are able to go back and do those as well. All right, so what we can look at is device access. Okay, so obviously phone is great. Tablet or laptop is better, ideal. You need internet, guys. You must have access to the learning management system that we're going to share with you. So don't worry, we'll put that in the chat. We're going to use Google Gemini. Okay, so if you've never used Gemini before, today is going to be your first time. We're also going to look at the notebook, Gemini Notebook, and Google Scholar, and also be able to download materials. All right, so yeah, quite a lot of things. But then, of course, we are trying to be very friendly with what we're doing and how we're doing it, guys, because, you know, data is really important. So we're trying to make sure it's as low data as possible. But of course, when you're engaging on the platform or even here today, guys, please be very aware not to share your personal information. Because remember, these sessions are actually open to anybody. Even though we're inviting us as UNISA staff and students, it doesn't mean everybody here right now is actually a staff or a student. They could actually be people from the public because all our resources are available for the community as well. And they could actually be seeing what you guys are posting. So please, no cell phone numbers, no module codes that you're doing. Please keep it to yourself as well. And of course, yeah, sensitive information is really important. Okay, next thing is there are 4 units that you would cover in this one. So from the foundation, which is unit 1, then we build on it and we get to find and evaluate, which is unit 2. Then we build on that one and we go to synthesize and apply. And last of not least, we go to communicate and collaborate. But of course, to ground the study, the learning that you've done, we've also got a demonstration and a reflect project inside the course itself. So we really want you guys to have the skills, and that's really what it's all about. Okay, so as you can see, guys, it's not a long course. It's not going to take you months and months and months. These are quick courses that you can do. And the whole idea here is for you guys to learn the skills. So it's 5 units, about 8 hours in total. That's all you're going to need. It's high flex, guys. So what we're doing today, face-to-face or online or hybrid. And of course, it is based on the goals. So it is part of our project, guys. That DHEAD funds us is to actually focus on the goals that, in this case, it's quality education skills for the future. So that's perfectly awesome because that's exactly where it's sitting in. And there's quite a bit you're going to learn about generative AI, how to use it. Some of you guys are already using it, I know, be honest. How to prompt, how to generate, how to reflect, and also to make sure that the information is correct, to verify it, right? So it's 5 little units. I've already gone through those. And all you need, guys, is a laptop or internet, your browser, in this case, it will be Edge or Chrome, and then, of course, to access the course, and then also see Lawazi, our chatbot as well. Right, so Masterclass 2, that was Masterclass 1, by the way. Masterclass 2, what we're doing then was really, it was 6 modules, so about 8 hours. So you see, these courses are not too long. What you guys would be learning there was AI for learning and productivity. We looked at academic integrity as well. We touched on that, and bias awareness. How to create a chatbot. That's actually what you do in Masterclass number 2. And we actually created one called the Wazi that you guys can actually go and see and work through it. So you'll see again, it's got 6 units, this one. And again, what you would need is really just the internet, your browser, and being able to access the course, which is freely open. So that's really, really important. So this is Masterclass number 2. So you can see 1 builds up some very basic things, 2 adds on. Now we look at agents. And then, of course, today we're going to now push a bit further to actually look at number 3. All right, so here we go. So how do we get to the platform? So that's the first thing. We're going to put it in the chat for you as well. Okay, so on my side, I'm just going to open my browser. I'm using 3 screens. There we go. So what I'm going to do is nice and easy. Go to adof.unisa.ac.za. It'll pop up with this beautiful little banner in front, and it shows you all the courses. So the first question is, David, where are these other courses? Just scroll down a little bit and you'll actually see there it is. There's African AI Masterclass number 1. There's number 2. And not surprisingly, there is number 3 just popping up right over here. So I see Richard has added this very quickly this morning. And there it is. So guys, it's very easy to find these courses, apart from all the others that you can also see on here. There's a number 3 and mobile 3. So thank you so much, Richard. And for the ladies, tomorrow we're having Her Tech. So please go and check under bookings. Go book yourself for Her Tech. It's a nice event where the ladies are talking about challenges in technology. So yes, guys, it's only for the ladies, but anyway, have fun with it. You can actually go into the course as well. So all I'm going to do then is I'm simply just going to say open the course. Now, because I'm logged in, I can see my beautiful little mug over there. It's automatically going to take me through. But for you guys, it will just pop up a little button saying, please log in. And then please do a quick self-enroll. So it's really, really quick to do. So if it's your first time, guys, don't worry. It's perfectly fine. So you must just log in. Ideally, log in with your My Life email account, guys, because this is part of co-curricular. And then, of course, it will recognize you. So make sure you do all the assessments, all the assignments, not the assignments, the activities and the discussion forums. Engage in all of those, because that's really important for you to get to the end of the course and to, of course, complete the final assessment to say that you've got the skills. So, guys, really important for today, just to sort of rehash, we're going to look at the research purpose. Then we're going to source grounded inquiry. We're going to go from sources to knowledge products. So you're going to learn about what are these things. We're going to look at personalized learning. All right, then the capstone project, as I said before. So we really want you guys to feel that, hey, after this course, I'm so comfortable. I've got the skills. I know how to do this. So today we're going to do it online. Generally speaking, it normally takes about 4 hours, okay? But because we're online and, well, yeah, time and data is a critical thing, we're not going to delve into extreme detail, but we are going to take you step by step and show you how it all works. So just take note of that as well. We will be traveling around the country next month. So quite a few places, Bloemfontein, Kimberley, Rustenburg, we're going to Gqeberha, we're going to Mbombela and Pietermaritzburg. So those are the 6 centers we'll be going around in September. So hopefully a bit more as well before exams start. So yeah, we're going to be visiting you. So if you do see the invite, you're most welcome to come join us face-to-face as well. So please, guys, really important, even though we're doing masterclass number 3, please go back and do 1 and 2 as well, because it will build you those skills that you need and also hopefully help you understand exactly what AI is and how it's affecting us all. All right, so also very importantly, as I said, we've got a pre-course assessment or survey that we post for you guys. Why is this important is before you do the course, and you'll find this with all our courses, we always do this strategy, is for you to complete this survey before you do the course. Work through the course. At the end of the course, you'll get a post-course assessment. You complete it again. And then obviously, hopefully, you've learned all the skills and you'll be able to say you're more confident in what you've learned in the course, because that helps us understand exactly how you have learned. Has this course really developed your skills? And what did you learn from the course itself? So that is really important. And that's how we come up with the next versions of the course. So I see, yes, thank you, Richard. I see someone was asking for the links again. So that's really important as well. Just before I hand over, I noticed yesterday, if you did join us with the courses, so please make sure, just want to show you guys, let's go back to the homepage. I see someone was asking me on the side here, because they got my cell phone number. Thank you for that, my dear friend. All right, so you just go to adop.unisa.ac.za. You'll scroll down, you'll see all the courses available, but today we're looking at African AI Masterclass number 3. You're simply going to click on it. It'll pop up a little button saying self-enroll, and you log in, and then voila, you're in. So you can use your My Life email and the same password as well. All right, and then you'll take you straight into the course. So you can see it's beautifully structured, and it'll even guide you how to begin and all the things that you're going to cover. So guys, please work through all these things. There is Lawazi as well, which is our AI chatbot. So you can even ask it. And I know Richard will probably show you guys exactly how this is going to work. So really, really going to have fun with you guys. Just take note, the guys that joined us for the Model UN, please remember to change back your profile picture back to your face, because I see Korea has joined us. Just remember, you can't have that flag on your profile pic, okay? So I'll just remind you guys again from Model UN. Yeah, so anyway, so there we go. There you have it, guys. So we're going to have fun with Richard this afternoon. So please do use the chat, ask away. But again, don't panic, a lot of information. Maybe just watch Richard do everything, and then afterwards go to the recording and then take your time and work through everything there. So Richard, there we go. I'm going to hand back to you now because we're on unit number 1. And I'm sure everyone is so excited about this course. I see the numbers are growing. So anytime you're ready, Richard, back to you.
Thank you, David. So, colleagues, yeah, so as we mentioned, we now on Masterclass 3. I'm just quickly going to show you a few things regarding the questions we received. So if you're on the main page, what you need to do is you can scroll down. I'm going to show you all 3 of them. So I'm going to start with the first one that we did. So this was the one that we did focused on up to last year, mid-year. And this one covers the things that you need to know how to get started with AI. And this includes, for instance, things like how to use it ethically and also how to prompt it. So when you hear these terms like what is context and all of that, and you don't know exactly what it is, this is the one where we explain everything. This one is also quite fun because on this one, you actually learn how to create a song. So I don't know if any of you have created a song before with AI. It's actually quite a lot of fun, and it's actually very, very good. So definitely go have a look at this one. Go make a song with Suno. You can even upload add your study guide or a topic, and we'll make it regarding that topic as well. But I remember we had quite a lot of fun within this area. Now, back in this one, we also introduced you to various types of applications, such as Copilot and Google Gemini. I know a lot of you still use ChatGPT as well. So please, in the chat, let us also know which one are you currently is your favorite one. What AI is your favorite tool to use? I know there's studies, all kinds of focused ones as well. That's specifically there to help you with your studies. Now, on all these courses, you also have Lawazi, so you can always go and ask Lawazi a question regarding the course, and Lawazi is actually trained on the specific course, so it will give you a direct reply. Oh, I see a lot of ChatGPTs. I wonder if all of you got subscriptions for ChatGPT, because it's getting quite expensive these days. So this is the first one. Definitely go have a look at it. It's not that long. It introduces you to some key concepts that you need to know how to use it correctly within the educational space, but also how to do prompting. So if we go back to the second one, This is the one we did up to now mid-year. So if I click on African AI Masterclass 2, this is actually where we take it a bit further. This is where, okay, now you know how to prompt, and you know a prompt, you generally need to add quite a lot of information. And I think they these days say a minimum of, say, almost 1,000 words just to guide it directly. And this is where we looked at in this one, how do you now actually create an agent, a specialized agent that you can use? And in this one, we've if I quickly show you on, I don't know if you had this example, those that joined, where we actually created like what is an agent, what is its purpose, how does it actually work? So all of this is covered in the second one, where we actually create our own tutor. And you can actually still go to, if you do the activities, you go to, let me see, like office.com. And on office.com, I don't know if all of you know it, you can actually come here under agents by Copilot, and you can actually create your own agent from here. And we actually created quite a few that are specialized specifically for you. So this is what we covered in the second course, is how do you create these agents? What are the things that you need to add to them, and why are they so powerful? This basically, you give them a pre-prompt, a key role, a personality, all of that that reflects what you want to achieve with it. So this is all covered in section 2. And if you go all the way down to writing Luazi's system prompt, you can still access it. You create a template and you create your own agent from this template. So this was also quite a fun, I can say, experience where everybody created their own agents. Now we get to the third one. So if I scroll down here and we click on African AI Masterclass 3, now I need to enroll because it's also the first time accessing this one from my student account. So you just enroll, and then you can actually start with this one. Now, as I mentioned, these are all co-curricular activities. So what does that now actually mean for you? Why would you go spend the time doing this? Now, the main reason is if you go now to my UNISA, unisa.ac.za, and if you go specifically to my admin, I'll just type in here. My admin. Let's wait for my admin to load. Okay, so I see Gemini. I prefer Copilot, for Claude and Copilot. Okay, yeah, Claude is also very nice. Notebook LM, any, a lot of Copilots on here. Why is this always so slow? Back here, my admin. So if you go to my admin, if it's not going to load now, oh, here we go. So if you go to student admin, and there you can get your co-curricular activity record. So as you complete these co-curricular activities, specifically you need to complete the, how can I say, the final assessment, the quiz, and you have to complete at least 50% of the content. But then if you come here, it's all listed. And if you go control print, you just go again, then you actually get this stamped by the registrar, a letter of everything that you completed with a summary of what it contains. So this is something you can do, and you get it now. So if you're, looking for work, You want to build up these skills. It's not just for your studies, it's also skills that you can use in the workplace. It's something that you can add to your CV now while you are still studying. So definitely worth doing all of these co-curricular activities that is listed on the homepage over here, because you do get that valuable skill, but you're also getting something that you can build up your CV already. Now, as we mentioned, we're going to be focusing now on African AI Masterclass number 3. Now, how does this one fit in? This is actually now builds on top of the previous two, where we always said you must cross-check your information. Make sure if information is correct. Go identify where is the sources that it comes from. So because AIs tend to hallucinate, they will make up information to make you happy, or they might realign the information because it's from a different viewpoint. So in this one, we focus all of that now. How do we get reliable information out of these AI agents? So it might be that you built your own AI agent, but still, how are you going to be interacting with it so that you can get reliable knowledge building information? So you will also notice in this one, we're going to do the activities in Gemini. So you might now have to use your personal one, and we'll also be using Notebook LM. That's now called Gemini Notebook. Now, the reasons why we are using these ones is we're actually partnering with Google, and ICT is busy setting it up. We will have a big launch event once it's ready. We were hoping it would be ready already, but taking a bit longer than we expected. But you're actually going to be able to log into Gemini and Notebook LM with your My Life accounts. So they're actually giving us business accounts, educational accounts for that. So that means if you use the free Gemini, for instance, now you're going to have access to the pro version of it. The same with the notebook. Now you're going to have access to the pro version of that notebook. And I actually, just for interest sake, want to have a look here. I had Gemini Notebook LM. I had it open here earlier. For those of you that have not seen Gemini Notebook yet, so with Gemini Notebook, you can import your resources, your research, your study guide, anything, and you can actually create videos regarding it. You can make infographics regarding it, quizzes, all of that immediately. So I've actually got this video, so let's see what it actually thinks about our course. So just quickly going to load this one. So let's see what we are actually going to be covering within this session today.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're making a massive shift in how we actually approach learning and research. If you've been using AI as like a magic oracle that just hands you final, polished answers, well, we need to change the game a bit. We're going to see how to transform generative AI into a brilliant thinking partner, one that supports rigorous, source-grounded research without ever replacing your own critical thinking. Okay, let's dive into this. Our core mantra for this entire explainer is simple, but man, is it powerful. It goes like this. What evidence supports this answer, and what can I reasonably conclude from it? Listen, AI might give you a response with absolute 100% confidence, but a confident tone? Yeah, that is never proof. We literally have to ask this question every single time. So here's our roadmap to get us there. We're going to start with the central question, then look at the 3 distinct layers of evidence and climb the evidence ladder. After that, we'll map out a 10-step evidence workflow, focus on how to ask the right questions, and wrap it all up with some strict guidelines for responsible AI participation. All right, part 1, the central question and 3 layers of evidence. If we actually want to leverage AI safely, we absolutely have to categorize exactly where our knowledge is coming from. The absolute foundation of all of this, that's source evidence. Basically, this is what the selected source actually states, reports, or shows. Think of it like the raw, unseasoned ingredients of your research. Whether it's a scholarly article or a statistical report, this is the bedrock. And let's be super clear, AI-generated text is not scholarly evidence on its own. No way. Now, what's really interesting here is the sharp contrast between the tool's job and your job. On one hand, we have AI synthesis. That's how it summarizes, connects, or simplifies the evidence. It's helpful, for sure, but remember, it's a fallible summary. On the other hand, we have your judgment. This is what you responsibly conclude after checking the evidence, considering the context, and, recognizing uncertainty. You are the ultimate authority here, not the robot. So here's a brilliant trick to permanently hardwire these layers into your daily study habits. Try using this exact sentence frame in your notes. The source indicates, the AI suggests, I conclude, because. Using this structure instantly separates the unadulterated facts from the AI's summary, and it firmly establishes your own accountable academic voice. It's a total game changer. Let's move on to part 2, climbing the evidence ladder. Now that we know the layers, how do we actually verify them? Well, let's see how this builds, because verification is a journey that increases in complexity step by step. The ladder starts at rung 1 with a simple AI suggestion. That's great for planning, but definitely not evidence. Step 2 is a discovery lead, kind of like a Google Scholar result. Step 3 brings us to the actual source. But hey, we don't stop there. Step 4 requires the verified passage, actually read in context. Step 5 is synthesis across multiple sources. And finally, step 6, that's your accountable judgment. See how you move from just an initial idea to a completely defensible conclusion? All right, part 3, the reusable evidence workflow. So, how do we fit those ladder rungs into a macro process? Well, this brilliantly illustrates the entire journey as a repeatable loop. We start by asking a focused question and finding sources. Then, we judge what fits and ground our inquiry. We question the sources, trace the claims, and compare the evidence. Finally, we create a product, check it, and reflect. Basically, it takes a chaotic research journey and turns it into a totally actionable cycle you can use for anything. Moving right along to part 4, formulating a focused question. This brings us right back to the beginning of the workflow. Because here is the absolute truth of the matter. A useful AI response must always begin with a human-driven, purposeful question. You need to treat AI as your question coach, not some mystical crystal ball research oracle. Use it to clarify ambiguity or plan a search strategy. But when it's time to actually find the facts, the credible sources have to carry the weight. To make sure your question is strong enough, try running it through this 5-part focusing test. 1, is it clear enough for someone else to actually grasp? 2, is it focused enough to be manageable? 3, is it open to evidence, requiring more than just a simple yes or no? 4, is the context, like time or location, visible? And 5, is it appropriate to investigate without hitting sensitive info? Get 5 yeses on those, and you are ready for action. And that brings us to our final section, part 5, responsible AI participation. Pivoting to this last, absolutely crucial topic. Look, these generative tools are amazingly powerful, but we need strict guardrails. Here is a non-negotiable rule of thumb. Do not upload sensitive information into an AI chatbot. No passwords, no identity numbers, no medical or financial info, no private correspondence, confidential data, or unpublished research. Seriously, just use the absolute minimum information needed for your prompt to protect personal privacy. Keep it locked down. And when it comes to maintaining academic integrity alongside that security, the boundaries are really clear. You must only use AI where it is explicitly authorized by your module or assessment. Never, ever present AI-generated material as entirely your own work, and always acknowledge its use. These are the rules that separate genuine, source-grounded research from academic misconduct. So the crucial point is this: you must actively protect your own academic voice. Keep your reasoning visible and your source choices transparent, and absolutely never invent or accept from an AI fake citations or data. Hallucinated page numbers are a real thing, and I promise you, they will trip you up. Also, if you use AI to translate materials, you've got to treat those as rough drafts. AI can so easily shift nuance, so a proficient human just has to verify everything before you hit submit. Let's leave off with this powerful thought from the source material. A confident tone is not proof. A citation is not an automatic guarantee. Your responsibility remains central. AI is an amazing thinking partner, but it never removes your responsibility to ask exactly where knowledge comes from. So, as you head into your next project, are you ready to stop blindly accepting answers and start actually verifying the evidence? Thanks for joining this explainer, and happy researching.
Okay, so that's Gemini Notebook for you. And I created this from the course material for us. And this is what you will all have access to on a pro level, hopefully in the next week or so. And it's definitely something that we're going to be working on with a lot of our projects, because it gives you all of these tools that makes learning so much easier, and breaking down big concepts, making little videos, all of that you can use to help you study. So it really helps you that you convert the material in a way that you prefer studying. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that when you do get the pro version of this. And as mentioned, it will be an enterprise business license. So that means anything you upload in here, it won't be used by Google for anything else. It's protected within the university's realm. So that is one benefit of having enterprise tools. And that's the same with Copilot. If you use Copilot and your agents within the university My Life account, then nothing of this is being used for training purposes. Now, why is this important? Might not be important to you now, but say later you are starting a business and you are giving in information here to help you guide. Maybe you've got a certain edge on it, and then they use that data that you're producing to train the next models. And then suddenly that idea, that unique idea you had, is being shared with anybody else. The same with research. If you're going to be doing a research study, and say it's a 5-year study, you're feeding in information along the way, and a free one that's use your information to train future models. By the time you write your paper, it's actually already common knowledge for the AI agents. So that's why you would want to use either paid subscriptions or ones like these ones within the enterprise, where information is protected. So that is one thing always to consider when using these type of models. And I just want to see, is there anybody in the chat that has not used AI before? You guys might laugh, but 3 years ago when we did the first one, it was about almost 60-40. 60% of people didn't even use it before. And now you can see after 3 years how we actually came to a way it's a daily thing. Some people can't even think about not even having used AI before. So Linda, not yet. It's going to be within a week and a half. We're going to send out big announcements once it's available. And then you're going to sign in with your My Life account, and it will direct you actually to your Microsoft login, and then back to Gemini, and also to Gemini Notebook. So we'll definitely let you know when it's available. They were actually working on it today to sync it up with our current databases so that you guys can get access to those licenses. So yes, so we actually went a long way. If you actually think of currently on my computer here that I'm working on, I've got the local AI models running, actually uploading materials to the learning management system. We use Claude desktop. We use actually sometimes free running at the same time, because the role of you have now also changed. It's not just we are doing one task at one time. With AI, you can do multiple tasks at the same time, and you are basically the coordinator. It's quite difficult for those of you that can't, how can I say, for me as well, where you now have to learn your skills of multitasking. Some of the people it comes naturally, but some people like to focus on one thing, get it done. But now with AI agents, it can actually run in the background. It finishes one task, and you jump to while it's working, jump into the next one, and you have all of these running simultaneously. But you are still the coordinator. You are the one that must check the output. Is it actually accurate? Is it actually grounded in truth? That's where the knowledge aspect of it comes, because we are still the knowledge experts over these agents. So I'm going to start with Unit 1. then we'll do a quick activity. So there will be 2 demonstrations today. That will be the one just with Gemini, and then later also one with just the normal Gemini model, and the later one will be with Gemini Notebook. Now, one of the big things is that firstly, why do we say research? You might be first year, and you're like, no, I'm not going to do research now. But why do we use these research concepts? Is because what is research? It's finding the truth, finding an answer. That's why you conduct research, and you based it on previous knowledge. So even if you are doing a very simple essay, you use AI perhaps to write about a fact, you actually can use these concepts to verify that it's accurate and that it's true. So that's why we use these concepts of research. So it's not research in the formal research, it's the research on how you actually find the correctness of the information by using AI models. So you can use from the beginning, from first year, and this will really make you a knowledge expert in the end. So how do we actually search or research with purpose? So we move from broad questions, then we discover, find possible sources to back it up, we select what fits, and then we verify to read that it's perhaps that it is valuable to us. We compare the evidence that we have to make our own judgment, so we can conclude with our knowledge, our thinking of what is correct, what is incorrect. So the source, it might be, for instance, a research documents, it can be a book, it can be your study guide. The AI will help you transform the evidence, but then we have to make sure that the way transformed it is still actually accurate. So that's why we always start, say, with broader topics. We narrow down the issue, we add some context, and then we focused questions that points to really focus, is this actually what we want? So if we're going to do the Masterclass 1, that's where we talk all about context. And you want to give as much context as possible, but you do want to give relevant context. And that's why you break it down, analyze the sources that you're going to be using to find out the ones that's really going to give you the answer that you need. So when we're going to use now, for instance, Gemini, it's useful for, clarify broad, ambitious questions, suggest useful boundaries, perhaps or even offer alternative wording. But when it comes now to you, it's in the planning phase. Now you're on the evidence route. You want to find out what is now actually true. This is when you start using scholarly articles, open resources, whether it's truly factual. You read, you verify, and then you judge that information. That is all part of the cross-checking that we've always been talking about, where you actually make sure what you're receiving is actually true. So there's a good way to build up to this. So you use AI to suggest, you discover leads, how you can use, for instance, Google Scholar to go find papers on that. You can then use AI again to verify that it is relevant to what you're looking for. And then once you've got enough resources, you can compare them, and then you make an accountable decision of what is the factual truth behind it. So remember, this can be a back and forth as well. So it's not always, how can I say, just one way. You might find out you get a resource, but then it doesn't actually align to what is the answer that you're looking for. So you might, a good way to think of, so say, for instance, this question over here, open distance e-learning connectivity South Africa. So this is perhaps that you want to look at. Open distance e-learning, and specifically related to connectivity in South Africa. So connectivity might be internet access, bandwidth, network. You can break these topics down. And that's where AI is very good at, is to really break down what you want to know, into what are the areas that actually impact it. So in this examples, we are going to be using to know what is the impact of connectivity issues, for instance, with students within UNISA. And you might know all about the problems you might face when you don't have connectivity in a university that operates in an online space. So we're also going to use Google Scholar to find as a source of truth, because although we will also judge whether that article is actually relevant to what we are looking for. So yeah, definitely once you've got your search aspects, you then go and look for resources, articles, theses, maybe reviews, or it might even be online sources. And then finally, you actually create verified questions. Is this actually what I need? Am I going to waste my time if I'm going to read through all of this? Then that's where you build up your collection of resources that you can use as your context for going forward. So when you want to evaluate sources, you know, there's so much fake news, most or fake articles, and scamming is becoming such a big thing as well with AI spamming. And I mean, these days you get phone calls and it's actually just not even a person you're talking to, it's a robot, but you can't even make out that it's a robot. So that's how good it's getting, basically. But when you look at the you know, resources that you find on the internet, you know, who's the producer of it? Is that the responsible producer? You know, what is the type of it? What you're actually looking for is what type is relevant to you. You know, you maybe when was it published? Maybe it was published 10 years ago. Then you might know, okay, it doesn't have any AI influence in it. But remember, when you work in academia, you always want the latest information. So that might also be an issue when it was produced. What method of data supports it? So all of these are things that you want to look at when you evaluate information that you're going to be taking as a source of truth. Now, obviously, you're not going to be looking always at all types of, how can I say, evidence or artifacts or sources. So if you do have a thing more about, you know, South Africa's data protection law requires minimality in processing personal information, you'll definitely go and look at more government sources, laws, things like that. If it's, for instance, the current Gemini notebook interface support a specific feature, you're definitely not going to look at the legislation. So this is where you go to Google documentation. So go look at types of sources that obviously will be relevant to you. And that's where you also, AI will mix it up. So, you know, when you actually want a very technical thing, it might go to a review site of how you can use it for creating quizzes, but it's not, you want the technical information regarding it. So when you verify sources, so you open the official record, you confirm, you know, the title, the year, all of this. You check the publisher, repository, is it trustworthy? So when you look at records, it depends on what you want, but this will give you a good idea of what you want to look at to make sure that the information you are receiving is accurate and true. It's actually quite interesting. I saw in the news the other day, AI companies are buying up a lot of books, academic books and even historical books, because the printed book is still being, how can I say, verified. Went through editors, it was cross-checked, the information is true on there. The internet is now so full of fake information caused by AI that AI companies are now buying books to get to a source of truth. So it just shows you how vigilant you must be these days in the online space. So just to give you an idea, scenario, Neo's search journey, a fictional UNISA learner moves from a broad topic to a focused question. source checks, and a visible evidence gap, or discovers perhaps evidence visible gaps. So a broad topic is internet problems and university students. More focused, intermittent internet access plus mobile data costs, participation, distance education, and related to South Africa. So Gemini will give the terms: digital divide, bandwidth, students' engagement, distance learning from these focused questions specifically to South Africa. So then you can go to sources. We'll show you Google Scholar, and then you can get the actual documentations. But then you go back and find perhaps maybe that specific article has some of the keywords, but not all. So you can have to then go back and look again at the different resources until you find something that can give you the information that you need. So when you question is, when you start off, you might have a very broad question, and you will ask AI to help you make it more focused. Maybe you get too many results, maybe more keywords, specific keywords that you're looking for. So all of these, things that can happen while you're looking for information, you always want to make sure that it's resources that you could perhaps also have offline, that you can verify when you do not have internet access. So we're going to have a little activity now, and just to show you exactly how all of these concepts work. How do we discover broadly and we start narrowing it down to a specific topic? So I'm just quickly going to exit this screen over here. Let me just get back to this page here, make sure I'm on the correct one. I'm going to go to Google Gemini, because soon this will be where we can log into our pro accounts, but currently I'm also just on the free one for this one. Which article would be regarded as older to avoid? When you actually get later on, when you're under third year or undergraduate, you can actually go quite way back, but you want as latest as possible. But when you get to research, they generally don't use anything older than 5 years for when you do your dissertation. So just something to know there as a background. So I'm just going to open up here quickly my other document. So my first prompt will be here to Gemini. Just get that format right. I'm exploring how connectivity affects participants in online learning amongst distance education students in South Africa. Help me turn this into one focused research question. But I also have to say here, do not answer the question and do not provide references. Remember, we just now want to focus on making this a very specific question that we can find the results that we are looking for. So it will give us, a primary research question and some alternatives as well. So now we can decide from our side which one is the most relevant. So I'm just going to go, how does access to reliable internet connectivity shape the nature and extent of academic engagement amongst distance education students in South Africa higher education institutions? So I quite like that one. So I'll say here, for instance, let's go with this one. So you can already see how this broad topic, that if I just looked for this, the first one, I would have gotten a lot of results, and probably 90% of it is not actually what I intended because my question was too broad. It can be the same. I want to start a business. That's way too broad. Bring it down. I want to start perhaps a catering business in this city, in this area. This is the context, so that you can actually get relevant information. So it's the same concept that we're applying here. So I'm just going to say, let's go with, I'm going to copy with this one over here. Now I want to see what keywords can I start now using for this. So I'll add here a little bit more information. So I'm going to use, because we're now in the scholarly space, but remember, if this is now, for instance, where you're looking for something, as we said, maybe a business that you want to start, you'll say keywords that you can search for. It's so frustrating when we still have to search manually. Luckily, AI is helping us, but AI also, when it's too broad, it gives you the incorrect information, and then you get frustrated. So I'm going to say now specifically for this one, but it might have been, give me 4 search terms I can use to find the relevant information. So I'm going to post in this over here. So this is now specifically for Google Scholar. So here's some search terms that I can use. And let's see which of these are actually going to give me the best results. So if I go here, I go to Google Scholar. And then I search these terms. And I can get quite a few resources on here. So if I perhaps now look at the titles, okay, social future-proofing, better for remote online teaching. Let's see, there's one here. So there's, for instance, one over here. So it's written by the Sisulu University, so it is local. I can see it was published in 2026, so it's very recent. So let's download this one. And then I'll save this to my computer. Now, did you know some of these Google Scholars websites or results pages, then they will want you to sign up for to get access to the various articles. Do not do that. They want to charge you money. What you do is, most of them, you can have a look if I can find one. You actually sign in, say with your university account, because the library already gives you access to all of this. So you don't necessarily set essentials only. So a lot of these are open, but you will find ones that are closed where you have to sign in with your university account. So for instance, download book PDF. Let's see if they're going to actually allow me. Oh, I already signed in with my UNISA account. So just remember, because you're a UNISA student, you don't have to pay for these abstracts of things and information. You just sign in with your My UNISA account, same one you use for My Admin, and you've got access through the library, and it will actually direct you directly to the resource that you want. Okay, but now we've got our resource. But now I want to see, is this resource actually what I want? I'll just get back here to this one. Now, what I'm going to do here is now to analyze the information. I'm going to ask it a few questions regarding the resource. But what I'm going to do here is I'm rather going to go to Copilot that we have within the university. Why am I doing this? Going to Copilot. Let's see if anybody can guess. Well, I'm not using this free account of Google that I've currently got, since I don't have my Pro one yet. Why am I using the Copilot that I'm going to be using here for the next steps? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add content. Just upload content. Plus upload images of files. There we go. I'm going to upload this one that I've got, digital transformation. So I'm uploading this resource that I found, but I'm doing it. Lol, yeah, Google Scholar always wants us to pay. So yeah, Chrissy, just remember to look for where it says sign in with your university account, or you are university, you can actually get it for free because the library already pays millions, so you actually can get access to it. Now, the reason why I uploaded here in my Copilot, as we mentioned, this is our enterprise account. The Gemini will soon be our enterprise account, but it's not yet. It's just a free one. So I know here information is protected. Nobody's going to use it for training. So I'm not going to leak this information out. Yeah, it's confidential, say confidential documents. I know it's safe. Well, with that one, it might be used for training. So I'm going to continue now on this one. And now I want to go and make sure what can I do to find out if this is true. So I'm going to go to Gemini again, just to give me the questions. Not that one. Got too many pages open here. So I'm going to say, I have a possible source, lead about connectivity and online learning in South Africa. Do not decide whether it's just to give me 2 questions I should ask to check relevance, authority, evidence, or method, context, currency, and publication details to make sure that it is actually relevant to what I want to find out. So I'm going to put this in. I'm not going to tell Gemini as well that I'm using its counterpart to actually answer this. So let's see here. Let's take that one. And we ask the question over here. So this study does not require extrapolation from high school settings, non-African context, or traditional residential university as its primary evidence base. It was specifically designed as a systematic review of the African tertiary higher education. So just like that, I don't even have to do the second question. I know this is actually not relevant to me, so I can go on to the next resource. And this is where you will now go back to Google Scholar, find a paper that looks perhaps like it will have, because it's got those keywords, download that one, see what is relevant. So you don't waste your time on all of just even reading the abstracts. You can very much quickly see this one is not relevant. Go download the next one, see until I can get one that matches what was my initial question. That's how you narrow it down and you don't get distracted with other type of information. So that's just the demonstration of the first unit. So I'm going to hand over here to my colleague, Mr. Molotsi. He will be taking you through Unit 2. I'll see you in Unit 3 then. And then after Unit 4, so we'll just do the quick introductions. And then Mr. Molotsi will actually do a demonstration for you as well with Google Gemini. Or not Gemini, Gemini Notebook. They're all Notebook LM. So thank you. Come on, over to you.
Thank you, Richard. I'd actually sent you an email. My power just left me on my side, so I'm actually on my phone right now. But I'm just hoping I'll sort it out shortly.
Oh, okay. Let me continue on my side. Let me just quickly share again. Come here, well, just let me know when you're ready. Let me just get this one over here.
For sure.
Okay, so just quickly I want to see just one thing before we start. This one. Yeah. So this is what can I say? Now we're heading to Unit 2. So this is all about source-grounded inquiry with Gemini Notebook. So within this one, how can I say, is the citation, read the passages, cite for yourself, whether this is then now actually what you are, what the claims are, and if it's actually relevant to you. So here's the loop. You select sources, ask a focused question, receive a cited synthesis regarding that. You open the citation, check the passage, and then make your judgment. The notebook narrows the evidence space. You still do the thinking within this. And that is where we actually want to get into, is where keeping your judgment within this information. Remember, it's you as a person that want to make the judgment at the end. Else, what might happen is humans aren't required anymore. And that's actually a very big question when it comes to education as well. Say, for instance, your academic uses AI to create your study material and your assessments. And then you go and you now use AI to sum up the information, but then also AI to do your assessments for you. And then those assessments go back to the academic. They use AI to mark it. So where's the human in the loop then? Where's the knowledge growth? And that is where we want to use these tools, but we want to use it in a way that it's still our judgment in the end. So you want to get your sources. You want to use AI, obviously, to help you to create a synthesis around it. But then you also want to guarantee it is still your judgment, whether it's correct or not. So that's where it's always good to have a few sources, maybe have a few candidates. As you saw earlier, when we downloaded quite a few, we check whether the purpose is actually relevant, is it credible, and then from there we've got a smaller subset that we can work with. So then we can include when it's directly contributes to what we want to do. Adds evidence or perspectives, it's authorized and inspectable, helps compare or qualify. But we also exclude all the extra ones, it's loosely connected. We might, maybe you can't lawfully actually use it. It creates unnecessary overload. And that's a big thing, is you might get something that has a few points that are relevant, but not enough to really make it worth including it within your sources. So just to remember, upload, personal information, all of that thing. We talk about it quite a lot. Make sure what service you're using, is it actually going to be used for the training? How is that data going to be stored? So that is where you want to really protect your personal information. And these days you hear so much about data leaks. So you really want to make sure your data is safe. But also that maybe you upload documents that is actually from your company, say, that's actually, how can I say, copyrighted, or how can I say, your in-house information that you don't want to get out. That is how you want to protect it. And that's actually became a big thing now in our companies, because at the beginning, everybody jumped on and everybody was giving all the information into these AI models, playing around. And all of that information, in-house knowledge, as they call it, is now publicly available, because now it's part of, if you prompt LLM correctly, it will basically guide you, maybe give that as a tip or something along the way. So yeah, definitely worth thinking about. So a lot of big companies, they actually ban the use of, obviously, of AI, like Google, open ones, free accounts, and they get the corporate accounts locked in. Some even go further and develop their own models within the company. So yes, so definitely once you start working with, for instance, now Google Gemini, it's having a notebook where you can keep all of these sources in one space. You've vetted the sources already. Now you can start opening your notebook where you add this information, and then you start analyzing the information with very direct type of questioning to it. So definitely when you ask questions, you want to find the gaps. You want to find understanding. You want to compare with agreement, if it's or disagreement, and that is how you build new knowledge. You find out where's the gaps, where's the disagreement, and then you find what information can help you lead to one or the other way. So just the route that you can take for every important claim: open, read, classify, qualify, and record. Read claim, notice strong wording, open citation, navigate to the source, read context before and after that was released, classify support, match wording and scope, qualify claim, correct overstated, and then you record your judgment. Now, it might sound like quite a lot academically higher, but this is actually something that AI can help you with, already, to just solve it down. But you take that information from the sources that you have identified. So remember also, citations are roots, but it's not guaranteed. So still, it might seem related, but sometimes, the sources that it relies on are weak or not very supportive. So you do need to always go with caution when you analyze this information that you receive from these even published articles. So that's why you want to dive in deeper with your AIs to find that deeper information and understanding. So yeah, definitely, here's just a comparison, how you can actually identify your sources, especially if you got now, say, a few books on how to start a business, for instance, and you want to actually now find what is the correct one method, is where you compare them, and also, what is the evidence used. This is how you analyze information on a big scale. So the days are gone where you just read one book and that's the one that you're going to be following. It's really, you compare it, you find it, you really analyze it to find the best way forward. So remember, quotation is exact words from one source, check character by character. Paraphrases, one source restart or restated accurately in your own words, still cited. Synthesis, especially when you're going to be using essays of things. Even if you use it, when you're still writing your academic papers, the AI might write it for you or assist with writing, but you still have to cite the actual sources, write it over word by word, not to just say the AI, can I say, reword it and it's now unique. Because remember, still the main phrase, the idea behind that concept, that is the big impact. So this is also an example of academic review, several practices, South African case study, official guidance. So this is just, from a confidence AI statement to a careful source-grounded conclusion. How do you actually do it? You go to the academic papers, you go to case studies, official guidance. So always take every claim, especially if AI takes a very strong claim, it's good to go to the actual resources to find out what is the sources being used, and is it actually something that will help you or steer you in the correct direction. These days you get so much misinformation that it can very easily get distracted with that information, give you inaccurate information. So definitely, if it starts to how can I say, you go a bit, starts failing, maybe look at what is your sources again. Maybe some of the guide or clients or sources that you have is actually misdirecting the information that you're getting out of it. So always go back to what is considered as your source of truth when you analyze this information. And then obviously just the guideline on how to go. So you've got your AI claim, you cite sources, you passage and context, record your evidence, you record your evidence, correct the wording, and then you start again. So always start with a focus area, the question plus source reasons, questions, understand, compare, limits, select three important AI claims, verify it, compare it against what is out there, what you take as a source of truth, and then you can make up your own conclusion. So it's not just the statement that you take anymore from AI, it's something actually that you have to go and analyze. So definitely, we've got a few reflection activities as well, and if you're going to be doing the course. So you really want to think, what was your judgment? Do you actually trust? What level of trust you have of this information? What is perhaps the gaps? What is the, let's say, perhaps a local perspective that's different? Because that's where it all comes to context. And that's where AI sometimes miss it out, is they don't understand the context in which you are asking questions. And that's where it really becomes important that you add that to the context when asking the questions. So when you're going to do this activity as well, and there is this is also online, we do the forum activity. So definitely go do the activities. It will help you just cement this down, because this might sound like a lot of steps, but if you go and do the activities, you quickly find this is how you can get way more accurate information for literally anything that you want to do with AI. So this is just also activity what we will include in the later one when we do the Gemini. We show you this one over here. So really, so now the first one where you discovered your resources, and now you, how can I say, actually get the knowledge from that resources, but it's actual knowledge artifacts that you can use. And there's these knowledge artifacts that you didn't build upon. And that is when we come to unit 3. So now we've got our sources, we've got our artifacts from those sources, and now we can actually start building our knowledge products. I just want to see, Kamo, are you back? We still power out. That's for Kamo's probably still uploading on that side. But before we jump into unit 3, I think we can just take a 5-minute break quickly so that you can just stretch your legs, your arms. I'll just quickly also want to get something, some water, and then I will be back in 5 minutes. Okay, everybody, we're back. So I think we can get started again. So I just quickly want to go back as well, just to show you on the course. So remember, all the information that we're going through is available on the course with quite a deep information. How can I say, a little bit more descriptive as well. Unfortunately, there is quite a lot of information around all of these topics. So please go and explore this online as well. And you'll notice that every forum activity that you can also do, just to really make sure that you understand before you move to the next section. So please do these forum activities. Remember to do the pre-course assessment before as well, and then also the final assessment too, so you can get your record of this co-curricular activity. Now, I know if some of you might get mad as well, you'll know the pre-course assessment only gives you one attempt, and the post-assessment will also just give you one attempt. Now, the reason why we set it up like this is because, remember, the pre and post assessment doesn't count anything. That's more for you to reflect on what you've learned. And then also perhaps when you do the post-assessment, you'll see you can answer a lot more of the questions. But you might also see, oh, maybe there's a gap, and it's something that you want to go back to, just to go focus on as well. Now, the final assessment, this is one that you can do multiple times, and it's your highest rated one. So you need to get more than 50%, and then you will be eligible for the co-curricular record. So please, when you go work through this content, we will still add a little bit of restrictions before you can go to the next one. But at the moment, please to go through them from the start and work through as it builds up towards the end. So if you just jump into, the final one, you might find, oh, I don't actually understand what is going on here. So definitely start with the beginning, build it up to your final project that you do. And it should really not take you that long. It's there for quick knowledge transfer to help you use these technologies. So if we get back to our presentation, so we're going now, we've got our sources. So basically we saw how we found our sources, how we analyze the sources, that they are relevant to that we're going to use it. So now we're going to start building our knowledge products from there. So this is very important. Remember, in the end, you want to create new knowledge. You want to analyze these different data sets and see how you can derive to new things. Just also a quick interesting one. I saw yesterday a lot of the old mathematical problems are being now solved by AI as well. So I saw one mathematician actually said it's an emergency within their field. It's how they must now adjust to the AI era, because some of those old problems comes back from the 1800s. There's some of them have, how can I say, almost if you resolve it, you get a prize of up to $1 million. And these AI models are now just solving a lot of them one by one, as they made it one of their focus areas for, to teach the mathematics. So all of these old theories, all of that is changing. So how is humans going to stay relevant, build new knowledge, if you have these powerful systems that can prove or disprove it so very quickly? And that is where we need to use these systems in a way that we can build new knowledge from them. So what we're going to do in this one over here, just want to get this page up here. So we're going to have, what you want to learn from it. You're going to create the first draft, you return claims to the sources, audit meaning and support, revise, and then use the activity. So definitely always you want to first have a purpose. What is it that you want to use it for? Is it that you just want to compare the resources, or do you want to organize ideas? This is where you can start using these tools That's why Gemini is so nice, because all the tools are in one place. So for instance, to compare, you use a synthesis table to organize structured notes. So if you study a topic, study guide, FAQ, retrieve knowledge. It all depends on what in the end you want from it. So it's whether you want to compare, explain, question, or plan. All of that depends what tool is relevant to use. And luckily, all of those, most of the tools are available directly in Notebook LM. So the creation workflow is that you propose. It will give you maybe a short, manageable draft. You choose the important claim that it's being made, and then you check it, you revise it, and then either you use it or you complete it again, the cycle. So generation is the first draft. Verification and active use make the artifact educationally useful, because remember, you want to iterate and refine over it. So definitely, if anybody of you have worked with AI, you can get drift very, very quickly, where it perhaps just sometimes starts hallucinating as well. But when you've got information, you've got your sources, then you transform that information. Remember, every time you use now a different tool on it, you actually transform it. And sometimes the meaning of it can actually get lost. So definitely always look out for where the information, where it's a falsity, it's not really reflected as it actually is in the original, but because now it's been summarized and in the summary used, it starts drifting from what was the actual bigger picture around it. So definitely there is a few different ways that you can, identify or verify different artifact types. So for instance, the study guide will preserve definitions, limit, and disagreement. So you're not going to be judging it. It's you already know that's the definition. That's the one that you need to learn. So you're not going to disagree with it. So flashcards check both sides, restore needed context. Audio, video, follow the transcripts, check additional and access. Make sure that it is accurate to what is in the units. What is actually what your sources are telling you. So just some prompts that you can use as well. Use only sources, label inferences, preserve limitations, show disagreement, mark not addressed, or trace support. So these are types of keywords that you can use to guide AI, and we'll show you in the demo that we're going to be doing shortly on how you actually implement this. So to preserve evidence in your notes, keep the evidence markers and visible revision history. If any of you don't know about revisions, it's one of those things that you always want to have enabled. A lot of, if you work even with Word documents, you can have revisions saved these days automatically, but sometimes it can drift over time. You want to go back to a previous state. So definitely always follow the routine of you got your source, you draft, you verify, maybe you find it's incorrect, you go back to the original source and draft from there again until you find out what has changed and why did it change. So when you do, for instance, a study resource should help you do something, not only reread. So definitely you want to have something that explains to you, something that helps your understanding of it. Because in the end, it's you that want to learn from these resources, not just that you want to copy it as a parrot and rephrase it the whole time. Now, what's nice about multilingual, and it's pushed quite a lot from us as well, from I would say the first year. It is the first time that we can have truly multilingual learning. I don't know if any of you have I actually had a complex topic explained to you in your home language. It's one of the truly nice things about AI is that you can really, anybody can really learn something within their home language as well. But also, still, when you do this, make sure that when it translates, especially very technical words, it sometimes do miss the context or the concept of that word in that context. So always make sure, go back to the original. If it sounds a little bit too, not correct, go back to the original wording in the original language and perhaps even use that technical word within your translations. So always make sure it can make very technical things, explain it in normal terms, but if you're going to be using it as a direct translation, do know that it can make mistakes in that regard. So just remember, we are going to show you a lot of things we can have now, videos and all of that. But remember, it's still text first, that you can have it online if you have low data. And then you can always still say, let my learning experience rather be the text first version where it's plain text and not all of these fancy slides and fancy videos. So something that you can easily keep on your phone and refer back to as well. So yeah, so for instance, very easily, you can sometimes find that, even your study guides, you translate it, but it sounds too smooth. And then when you actually check the sources, did it go through a proficient human review? So you might find that maybe there was actually a few misconceptions, and that is perhaps why you're not doing, when you do your assessment, it doesn't work out for you. So we do give you some in the course as well, some practical tips, recovery strategies. When you do find, your understanding is now perhaps drifting from what it should be and how you can get back to it. Because remember, these AI tools are very powerful to learn, but you also need to know when it drifts away from the sources, facts, to get back to your own, the correct understanding or concept regarding it. So this is the path that can be used. Now remember, this path does seem to get a bit longer from the first one, but in the end, we actually do put them all together, and you'll see it's not that long. And it's always something that you can just keep in mind when you analyze anything, and you can really use this within basically everything in your real life as well. But you want to always find a purpose, find the sources, prompt it, create drafts, fact check it, do an audit again, revise perhaps where you find is where it went wrong. You kept notes, state the uncertainty areas that you want to perhaps don't know if it's correct or relevant, and then you obviously change your summary again. But you can do this multiple times to make sure that everything is always aligned. So you can always, as we mentioned, generate media, but just to compare it, is it actually capturing everything accurately as in the original sources? So here's just something, when you do, what did AI perhaps add that wasn't in the original ones? What can you trust? Did the meaning even perhaps shift when you use these resources? Has the voice changed, the tone of it? So remember, all of these AI agents, especially if you did the Masterclass 2, they've got a preset personality already. So you have to look out for, where the view might not be actually the view of within the documentation, but the view has changed according to the AI's view. So definitely when you start working with your sources, define what is the purposes of it, how do you want to use it, you create from it, you verify that what you created is still true, and then you've got your artifact that you can now use to plan, attempt, study around it. The last unit in this section is the personalized learning and verification, the evidence trail. So as we said, all of this is how you actually now analyze information, make sure that your information is true. You've got your sources that you're going to be using, but then also how do you actually make sure that you've got your evidence cycle. So if it somewhere went wrong, you can always reflect back to it. So in this unit, you will learn, plan your study, monitor progress and adapt. You will verify claims. That's what we've done already, but thoroughly in the previous ones. Use AI to prepare in a ways that suit your goals, and then report prompts, checks, sources, and decisions. And then obviously you want to share responsibly, acknowledge AI use, and cite your sources. Now I'm going to ask you a question. You can answer it in the chat. How do you acknowledge that you used AI? Do you add it in your references, in your bibliography, or how do you do it? Let's see if anybody knows. No, you don't reference it. You'd never reference a tool. So the acknowledgement is basically we just have a short statement to say you have used AI, and you can describe what did it actually do for you. Did it do your grammar check? Did it do your help you analyze the information? So these days, if you publish as well, that's something that they require. Sometimes they actually want you to add the prompts that you used as well. But mostly when it comes to academia, it is going to be something that they think when the policy comes out as well. Something that they actually want you to include is just the acknowledgement. Some of the academics are unfortunately still against AI, where they will tell you outright you may not use AI at all. In that cases, rather be regarding that you won't be using it. But they will actually have in the future modules assigned to indicate whether you may use AI or certain things. But I know also the new curriculums that's going to be developed, all of that incorporates AI as part of the curriculums. So it's going to be interesting how it develops over the next 2 years. But yeah, so at the moment, it's always good to acknowledge that you have used AI, especially when it comes to academia and knowledge work. So always, personalized learning and your trail. Remember, you're going to plan, you're going to set your goals, you're going to attempt, you're going to ask AI, you're going to check whether it's factual. You might adjust it and then explain in your own words and then reflect. And that reflection might take you back to your planning. It's a never-ending circle that you want to keep on going. But with the interest in time, I'm actually going to show you the demo now, that how you do this within Google Gemini. So I'm just quickly going to open up my browser here again. So let me open up a new one. So definitely, if you have a Gmail account, you can go try out Notebook LM already. But just know in a few weeks, will hopefully be a week and a half or so, then we will actually have the account where you log in with your My Life account, and then you will have the Pro version, so you will be able to do quite a bit more, and the models will also be a bit smarter than the ones that you get with the free version. So I'm just going to start with this book. So this is what I'm taking as my source. So it can be your study guide, it can be the research papers that you were looking for, all of that, and you just add them as your sources. So as we see here, you can add more sources as well by even linking to websites or videos. Anything that you found is relevant to what you want to understand, what you want to learn. So obviously it will have to upload. So while I get that ready, let's just get ready on this side as well. So I'm actually I'll drop this in the chat as well. If you want to use it as an example, where is this document now? Here we go. This is actually the whole course in one PDF that we learned about today. It's not allowing me now to. Let me do this quickly. And there. So I must warn you, this is a bit of a bigger document. It's 20 megabytes in size. So if you're going to be using it on your site, just be aware of that. So here you can see I uploaded the source, actually made me already a couple of notes on here. And now I want to start querying the source for what I think might be true or not. I'm just quickly going to copy that link for you as well. If you want to use the same source on your side. There we go, African AI Masterclass. So now I've got my book source on here. So now we can go and perhaps we have got a few questions that we want to answer. So I'm just going to have here a few preset ones. Okay. So I'm going to ask it, for instance, using only the Upper African AI Masterclass book, evaluate this claim. So let me paste it in here where everybody can see. If Gemini Notebook provides a citation, the AI answer is accurate. Let's see what the course actually says about this. So here it actually says, based on African AI Masterclass book, the claim that Gemini Notebook provides a citation, the AI answer is accurate, is false, and directly contradicted by text. The book repeatedly emphasizes that citation is a route back to evidence, not a guarantee that the AI's claim is correct. And now what we want to do, for instance, when you get things like this, where it does a very direct false, you actually want to go back in the source. Here it actually gives you the source. And you want to go look. We go here, view source. Where did it come from in that passage? What perhaps was before it? What perhaps is after it? That this is actually the correct claim. Because remember, it can very quickly focus perhaps on one passage, but then before or behind it, it is actually gives it perhaps as an example of what not to do. So that's why you always want to have a look. When you even get an answer like this, you want to go back and forth to see whether it is true or not. So this is where you can basically make your own judgment on whether you agree with this by looking very quickly at where the statements come from. Is it actually relevant to what you wanted to create in the first place? And what I'm going to do is just also here with the chat, let's say a new chat. I'm going to ask it for me also just to bullet it for me. But as you can see, we've got our data source over here. We can ask direct questions to it. We can see directly how it links to the source back. So remember, you might just not have one, might have actually quite a few of them. And then it can actually give you that answer repeatedly. Now why is it now just struggling here to give me no answer here? Let's see if we try again. See if it can make me a little study guide for this. I think my resource might be a bit too big for it, but we'll see if it will go through.
Yeah, no, that's true, Richard. I also had the same problem on my side. So I think the sooner we get that pro version, the better. Then we can really have some fun with the tool.
Yeah, so source of evidence, what's the selected source? Actually states, reports, or shows. A passage does not automatically become useful evidence simply by being found. It only becomes useful when you read it and understand exactly what it supports, obviously within the context that's around it. So AI synthesis, a fallibility summary, connection, simplification, or transformation of the source evidence. The synthesis is strictly bounded and its quality is entirely dependent on your inputs, grounding, and notebook. In a weak, irrelevant, or biased source will produce a weak, irrelevant, or biased AI synthesis. Yeah. So yeah, it's very interesting how you can very quickly derive from this information. But what I also want to show you is some of the tools. So we've got our source over here. Now we can actually create a mind map from it. So remember, you won't necessarily take everything and dump it in here and create mind maps from it. It's actually what you actually want to derive from it. Maybe you just want to create a video to understand the key concepts, or maybe you want to create some flashcards to learn concepts around it. But let's quickly create a little quiz. Let's say add 5 multiple choice questions, identify specific sequence. Yeah, no, that actually works well. Let's generate. So you at least tried it, David.
Yeah, no, I gave it a shot. But yeah, it's quite big. The document I was using is too big. So, but it's really cool. This tool is unbelievably useful. And the fact that you've got all these things that you can do with it, so students, you can definitely maximize. And the great thing is you can really do it now. You don't even have to wait. But yeah, there we go. Look at that.
So I'm going to ask the students which one is the correct one. So in the chat, in the 10-step evidence workflow, what action must the learner take immediately after discovering sources, find, and before moving into the grounded environment round? So you found your resources. What do you do directly after that? Let's see who can get us the correct answer.
Maybe the student should use the chat and put in A, B, C, or D, and let's see the answers. Aha, there we go. Some guys are saying, well, trace, number C so far. Okay, good.
Great.
They were paying attention.
I would go judge whether they Judge involves evaluating the relevance and credibility of the source to decide if they are appropriate for the research purpose or for the purpose that you want to use it. While in a 10-step sequence involve navigating to the specific passage in the source material to verify an AI-generated claim. So this is what we just did. We asked it a question, and then we actually clicked to see where does it actually get that information from. So which step in the 10-step sequence involved navigating to the specific passage in the source material to verify an AI-generated claim? So let's have a look. I would say that is where we want to trace it. Yay! Between tracing the evidence and creating a knowledge artifact, which step is necessary to identify tension or agreement among the various authors? Quickly give you some time. That's when you do the comparison. That one is at least easy. So yeah, I'm not going to take you through all the questions because we have actually run out of time. So students, remember, so this new resource is now available. If you have not done the previous ones, this is the, how can I say, the finale capstone that you can do. We also have a little capstone project in there. And this is really, by using this technology, it will really, and having this research methodology, when you approach how you use AI, will really assist you in getting a lot better output. Because just going into AI, if you're asking it, how can I start my business, for instance? It's going to give you a lot of information, but it's not going to be the guide that you're looking for. By using these key concepts, how you actually analyze information, where you compare information, you actually get to a truth, and you also build new knowledge. That's where you bridge the gaps that is currently still out there, and this is where you can use AI to build new knowledge and also through the process also learn quite a lot. So remember, when you're going to approach these courses, please start with units. I would say still start with the Masterclass 1. That really gives you the fundamental concepts. So if we go to the dashboard, home, still start with where is it now? This one over here, African AI Masterclass 1. It's very quick and easy. That's the concepts. A lot of you might already know a lot about this, so it's very quick to go through. The second one is still powerful because even with this last one, how you now analyze information, this is where you get to the stage where you start building agents, but that you can use locally as well. Now, agents, if you're going to be working with AI, you'll know you want accurate information to it. A little bit of information that's inaccurate puts it off course. And then, yeah, you end up with a lot of headaches. So definitely use this last methodology, how you assess the information, if it's accurate, whether you can use it trustworthy, is the resource that AI generates for you to help you learn actually that useful? Or when you are starting to look for new knowledge, how do you derive new knowledge with the help of AI? Now, in the old days, you used to do it very, very slowly. Now you can do it very, very quickly. But with that, you have to still have that rules in place so that you make sure you are getting relevant information. And then with that, I will hopefully see you in the next session as we build this up. As I mentioned, this was the first release of this class. We're definitely going to still get some additional resources to really help with the explanation and also assist you along the way. So definitely come join us again when we have the next session. David, I think tomorrow is the HERTEC, so also supposed to be a very fun activity. So hopefully we will see you there as well. It's all for the ladies, and they have some very insightful things to share around technology. So definitely come and join. And then we will have a post for look out for when we come to your area. We are going to be traveling over the country as well, having face-to-face workshops. So if you have any questions or things you want to discuss, I know the one we had in Polokwane, the guys were very interested. Everybody wants to know how they can start their own AI businesses. So yes, very insightful discussions that we have in those sessions that we perhaps don't have time for in the online versions. Thank you, David, over to you.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you so much. It's just after 2 o'clock, so we just squeezed ourselves in. But thank you for having the course. We know we've been working around the clock, students, to get this to you guys before the semester exams hit you. So we've been working around the clock. Thank you, Richard, so much for this. Just remember, guys, I saw a couple of guys asking about recordings and the slides. Just take note, those are available on the course. So at any time, you can quickly go and do it. You can access it. I'm just sharing my screen, and you can just quickly go and self-enroll. There it is, Masterclass 3. So everything is actually there. So you guys can easily access it. And then, of course, the recording. The recording is on YouTube. That's where we're live streaming. You can just do a quick search for Adolf. Or better yet, I'll just quickly copy it and paste it in the chat for you. There we go. You've got the recording as well. And as I said in the beginning, guys, I know it's a lot of information, all right? And I'm sure you're all thinking like, wow, okay, go through the recording, take your time, work through it step by step by step, and then take it from there. But do Masterclass 1 and 2. It will definitely help you with your studies and getting those skills that you definitely need. So, guys, have a great day further. Tomorrow we are back with HERTEC for the ladies, so please do join us. Yes, guys, it's for the ladies, but you can still access the materials on the very same website. There it is, HERTEC. Okay, so that's not a problem. But for tomorrow, guys, please let the ladies have their session. It was about ladies in technology. So let them have their space to discuss. And it's, of course, Women's Month, right? But anyway, I did put the booking in there for you. If you haven't seen it, you just come to Adolf and go check the bookings as well. You'll see that. For those students who maybe are working, who could maybe not join us for the entire event, you'll notice we do have another session for this one specifically. It's the 1st of October, but it will be in the evening from 5:30. So we are aware students are working, traveling, so the time of day is really critical for them and for you. So we're also going to have it, but we'll again send out invites and whatnot for this as well. And there's the HERTEC for tomorrow, guys. You can quickly go book yourself. There it is. Just click on book now. Nearly 2,000 students, the ladies have signed up already. So we're looking forward to a fun session. All right. Have a great day further, guys. And thank you for your attendance. It is appreciated. And all the best with your studies. Bye, everyone.